Internet, stop being Australian challenge. Internet, please. Hi Patches, hi Chaos. The barn has been going well. And I'm planning on, because these sea lanterns, they look nice. They don't light up the ground because they're too far up, you know? And these don't light it up either. They're too aesthetically pleasing to actually light anything. Minehut, let us update our server to 1.18 challenge, please. So instead, I will have to, I'm gonna break all the grass in the surrounding area and use instead gravel, concrete powder, that kind of stuff. And I've also got some corals and such because once I get all that dirt from under here, I'm going to expand this area a little bit to make like a pen that I can just toss things into. And it'll likely have the same kind of like gravelly kind of thing. I don't know. But that means I'll also have some like trees that kind of correspond with the dead coral. But currently I only have living coral, and it's much easier just place the living coral and let it die, because it does that pretty darn quick. You don't even notice, usually. And then I'll put back some trees probably, because the birch trees, while they are like living and green and such, it's still not as green as most of the rest of the stuff, and it's got the white and black as well. But yeah, the ribcage barn looks pretty sick, actually. I like it. I don't know. I'm not the most pleased with what it is, but still better executed than I thought I could have with the concept I had, you know? And all these, like, are little, like, they lean towards the lighting source. And I didn't bother uncovering it because I chose the one, like, whitish light source. And I'll have to, get some prime pathing over here, probably. Maybe take it from there and bring it this way, over the bridge. Or, no, probably down, over, up through here. Oh yeah, I was thinking of using some soul soil. But I don't know about that, really. I'd prefer to just keep it into grays, because if I put in the brown, people will be like, wow, okay. Hello, Bumblebee. It's one of Minnie's old bees, I think. Hey, bud. But yeah, I definitely need to expand it, and there's a zombie or something. Oh yeah, oh, Jesus! Why is there... This is why you fill up your creeper holes. Why is there so much? Is it just a full cave system under there? Why? Why? I don't need this in my life. I need to go grab some torches and some dirt. This is why you need to light up caves. I have literally done where I just like go and find like the more surface cave systems, because people tend to like go straight to Y11, at least in 1.17, 1.16, which is what this server's been on. Oh yeah, I also leveled this out. It's now not like in multiple levels, and I added lanterns onto all. I covered these with slabs and then added lanterns, so now you can actually efficiently flush it out with water. But yeah, I tend to like light up caves and everything because I actually want to make sure that there's not any guys just hanging around prepared to murder me. I don't need coarse dirt. I need, there's some grass, dirt. That's not helpful. Here, have this. But this is why you light up areas, or else you're gonna end up with first, you're gonna have mobs that you can hear all the way from the surface, and that's not fun. Second, you're gonna have mobs coming from who knows where if you have to break into an area. It's easier if you just break in, you're like, oh, there was a cave here, but someone lit it up because they're a responsible person. What's this cave? Bruh, you really think? Hey, bud. I don't have my bow on in my hotbar. I don't need my hoe. I have my hoe in my hotbar and not my crossbow. Love it here. This is such efficient. You know, this is such efficient ways to exist in Minecraft, really. More coal. 4 torches. And then there's a bunch of random dirt. We love the random dirt from what have you. And some gravel as well, for fun. Oh yes, this is the other area that I did cover up because I thought it was a fully lit up system, but it wasn't a lit up cave system. Instead, it was just a part of a cave no one went into ever. I just straight up don't need like iron or anything. So I think I covered that up with like 3 or 4 layers, so it should be fine. I'm gonna cover this up by a few more layers as well. Just over here. So at least if like a creeper blows up or whatever, it's not the end of the world and people aren't just like, oh, now there's a whole huge cave that I'm gonna fall into. Enderman, you can make your choice about what you're gonna do in this situation, but it's not my problem. Oh yeah, I've been thinking, this server might need, like, at least some form of, like, I don't know, like, if someone does something super bad, like, maybe we do need, like, it's kind of hard to, like, imagine, like, because you'd need, like, a nation and stuff to, like, sponsor it if you wanted to actually make a prison or some sort of, like, place for people to be, because it's like, wow, you're a danger to society, you know? But it's like, there has to be something that we can do, because otherwise it's like, if someone does do something very, very bad, what else can we do about it, you know? Besides just hurting them. And that's not going to contribute to anything, really, at the end of the day. But we could, like, do something about it, maybe. Because I did make that, like, holding cell, but it's, like, for a court, if there's, like, a court trial. But in theory, if you do need to hold a trial and someone is guilty of doing something very, very bad, like, what, are we gonna pull in a Triberg and just, execute someone like they executed that wizard? Like, I don't know. I guess back in where I've been, like, most of the time, they just don't. Here, you live here now. You live like this now. I don't know, where I've been, mostly, it's just, like, whoever has the most power is able to literally just call the shots and be like, I think this person deserves prison, or this person deserves, to be executed, and then everyone else is like, okay, person in power. You do you. because otherwise they're gonna end up on the other side of that, like, blade. If they're not complying, like, or simply if they annoy someone enough. Oh, that does sound cool. Like, maybe, and also, like, parts of it could be, like, all rusted and oxidized, and you could show that it's, like, been there in the area for a while. I don't know, that sounds super cool, though. And then you can do, like, redstone stuff, too, if you want. Or if you're any good at redstone. I know I'm not. I don't really plan to incorporate redstone in my builds at all. I was, like, losing my mind over trying to make one simple, like, 2x1 piston door at one point, because I wanted it, like, flush with the wall. Yeah. 2 months later, no lore. Just sitting here. A lot of things just haven't really happened, but that's primarily just because people have things they have to do instead, and that's fine. My character has their own, like, thoughts and opinions, but most of the time it's just like, well, I'm not involved in it, so it's not my problem, because it's like, yeah, sure, there's, I don't remember that being there. Someone added some more prime path, that's nice. But, like, yeah, it's just my character's very hands-off currently and not as involved, primarily because if they were a part of Nitriteberg, then maybe, yeah, they would be. But considering they're not, it's not really their problem, and they don't want to get involved into an area when it's not, their problem. The Eternals movie? I don't know. I might have heard of it at one point, or maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I just tend not to watch a lot of, movies and everything, but that's mostly just because my attention span is severely lacking. Instead, I'll sit down and watch, like, hours and hours of someone playing a video game or something, and then and be like, wow. Shame. I couldn't watch, like, whatever well-produced movie. Instead, I'll watch some rando. I need to... Here, I can just throw my junk in here. I don't want it. What I do want is... Ooh, yeah. Having builds, like, inspired by movies or shows or anything are super cool. I haven't done much, like, inspired by things, aside from, like, maybe inspired by, like, YouTubers and builds they have in their series. But aside from that, there is some things that have kind of, like, inspired me. But it's mostly just been, like, actual other people's Minecraft builds instead of shows, though. I don't know, there was probably some point in time where I was actually thinking and like, oh yeah, I made this because of this. But I can't remember it if I did. I need all of these open or I'm gonna lose my mind. Well, this is a sizable amount of dirt to start making an area for the horses to be in outside of the barn. Because I'm thinking I just want to, like, expand this area at the side, and then this can, like, kind of subtly be more than what it is right now. But it's just, like, yeah, slowly extending this and making it... Do I need my... Where's my block sounds? Yeah, my block sounds are very high. That's what it is. There's just an Enderman submerged in the floor forever now, apparently. That's the life they live. They're vibing. They're straight up vibing. Where did you go? Where did I put you? I've already lost them. Never mind. Oh yeah, and then if you make things like in the same like color palette and stuff, you're also getting rid of those blocks. Like if it's surrounding buildings or surrounding like organics or what have you. I've been saying or what have you very like way too much for someone who's never like said it specifically a lot before. I just live like this. Sometimes I get a phrase stuck in my head and I'm like, wow, okay. Add that to the script. All this dirt, all of it's gotta go. No more dirt for anyone. They're skeleton horses. They don't need to eat dirt. They can have gravel and concrete powder. And maybe some dead coral. Who knows? Bit of dead coral for flavor. They don't eat grass. We can just throw this in here and then maybe... Well, we can take all this out of my hotbar and then maybe this and then white powder, gray, dark gray. And then I also need to do this. So then I can light up all these areas with carpets. And I already just had these kind of carpets, so I was like, okay. I wasn't gonna bother making more of a different color. But yeah, I'm not even gonna bother checking the, I'm just gonna put like one in each. And it'll be fine, like randomly. They'll live. I just don't want monsters spawning in and bothering people. If I do have, well, I'm gonna have 11. 12 is like, I put in space for 12, but one of my horses is like the 12th. So I don't know what I could name them in, if I want to name them. Who knows? Is that enough? 9898999. And then if I go closer, it's like 14 and 13. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've had plans for mega builds and then just kind of never fully finished them. Which, like, yeah, it's not the end of the world as long as you're, like, having an idea and having fun making it, I guess. It's not, like, the worst thing, even if you don't finish it. Whoa. Don't finish it, you know? Yeah, and, like, using, what is it? Having the new generation might be fun as well. I've been having fun playing around and exploring some of the new 1.18 worlds, so of course it's been all like, technically like in roleplay when I was doing it with the, hardcore series, you know? But it's fun. I really should test if a horse can just jump out of this, because I think they can. I don't know for certain, though. Here, I can just go grab a horse. I could probably warp somewhere close, actually. There we go. Hello, skelly horses. I'm going to grab one of you. Okay, bud? Here, there's one that only is on one. Hey, bud. Got this new hip area for you. It's called an Emo Barn. It's for emos usually, but you're kind of inherently emo, so you live here now. Yeah? Is that so? What's more emo than a bone horse, you know? They'd ride these if they could, in the Black Parade. And then there should be an area that, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're also just like, they generally just have the same stats every time. And it's not like very good. Okay, bud, you stay here and let's see how long, if you can escape. Okay? It's just vibing. I don't think the plugin's working, yeah. Sometimes it requires you to do it again, because it just doesn't register you. Sometimes horses are just little dumb guys. Are you gonna escape? If you should just get it over with, you know? They just, don't you neigh at me. Oh, the sass on this one, I don't know if I can handle them. Here, I don't need all this. I do need this, and... I can have one here, and then some of this. I'm trying to keep it at some sort of pattern, but like it's just a pattern in my head. And it's just like trying to make sure that at least this one doesn't exactly fit that, but whatever. Are you good? Are you gonna escape? I don't think they can, because usually they just 100% just like go over blocks automatically if you're driving them at it. Who knows? Don't you sass me. Oh, they're sassing me. You know they are. I'm probably gonna take off all their saddles too, and just have a chest for saddles, or a barrel, because a barrel might be more aesthetically pleasing. But once I get them all in here, because they're mostly here just like to look at. It's not like someone's gonna suddenly need like, oh yes, let's all ride on our skeletal horses. And if they are, why aren't they inviting me if that's on the schedule, you know? Well, let's leave some stone exposed. I think this actually, I need a... Where's it? There. And then I can... What are you trying to say about me? Huh? Huh, punk? I can't handle this man. I don't know what he's trying to say about me, but... Really, don't need this kind of sass in my life, really. How dare they? Yeah, I think they can't escape. That's good. I don't have to rework my design, because the design does kind of look sick anyway. I don't want to bother having to redo it. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. That's great. Let's expand. So what I want to do now is just throw all this back. I don't want it anymore for right now. And then I want all of my dirt, actually. Give it back. And then I'm going to expand the area. Oh, I forgot to fill this in. Okay, I am smart little man. At least I have Silk Touch on this, because of course I would be so endlessly frustrated by having to like ending up with flint and stuff if I'm trying to build with gravel, you know? Okay, I'll fill it in later. I got it later. Because I'll need to do a bit more. But for now, I just want to see how big I can expand, like, this side area. Okay, bud. Whatever you say, Enderman, that's been now forced into the ground. Little dirt man. He literally just lives in the dirt. He's one with it. As you do. We love terraforming. We love terraforming. Oh my god, Enderman will be able to pick up this gravel. They might move the gravel, and I'll just go insane. Oh, that's even worse than just picking up my dirt that I'm using. Oh, apparently Webtoon has dropped some like PUBG webtoons, which I don't know why. Maybe it's more popular, or maybe it's something that was like a thing that was happening in, I think Korea is where Webtoon is based, because a lot of webtoons do end up being in Korean and then translated to English, which very interesting. You get to see like an insight on what popular Korean culture can be, kind of, or at least I think it's South Korean culture. Though there have been some like insights on things that are like about that kind of divide, but whatever. There's just a bunch of PUBG ones, and it's like, okay, why? Who's making PUBG comics? Who's paying? What is PUBG paying people to make comics now for them? Because there are some people who are like in official comic things. Like there's like a Batman thing, or maybe it's at least like the Wayne family or whatever. And there's like an Archie thing, I think. I don't know. Like I don't know anything about these popular like things, so I have no idea if it's like official in any sense or if it's just like. I think it should be official, considering I'm pretty sure it's on like a pay to read it kind of thing, at least for some of them. But for the new comics, you can't just like pay to read it first off, especially because if there's like only 3 episodes of something, then it's like, why would I pay money? You know? Oh, who's his darling little babies? Hello. Oh, my darlings. My sweet little pumpkin pies. Oh, my little berry. Yeah, darling? Oh, my little puddin' pop. Hello. There you go. I just don't want you to escape, okay? Don't. I just wanted to cut through here. I don't think I have more dirt in here, actually. Pain and suffering, actually. I've decided pain and suffering. I need to go... I'll pick up other stuff as well. I want some more, gravel and then both shades of gray for the concrete powder. Because I am keeping a bunch of that, because that's something I plan on terraforming with, you know? As you do. Like, terraforming with concrete powder is probably hell. Because it's like, yep, let me just create things to have to terraform with, and it's gonna take so much effort, and I can't let it touch water or else it's ruined and I can't use it. And all this garbage. Here, I think gravel might be the best to use. Here, I don't want as much as this, and I want more gravel instead, and then I'll grab some dirt. My dirt should be here. Yeah. I don't want mycelium. Just regular dirt, please. And then I'll go... Because we used a /home plugin, and then switched out for a different work plugin, but now we can't get rid of the /home plugin because too many people are used to it. So, like... Oh, I'm gonna wait and sleep. As you do. As you do. Now can I sleep? Thank you. No thoughts, head empty. No thoughts, no thoughts. Just sheep, just boat sheep. They really just live like this. These boat sheep. Hello, Bumblebee, I see you. I see you, you little bumbly boy. Who do you think you are? Coming in on my turf. That's probably like one of the like few bees. Yeah, there's like 2 bees or whatever that are alive. Because they just kind of disappear at some points. Sometimes when you're keeping bees, they just disappear because you gotta love Minecraft. If they can escape, they will, and they'll just wander off and then somehow just, nope, out of existence, apparently. Yeah, buddy, you having a hard time? Above it? You can go above it, you know. You can go, no? Bud, you're trying so hard. I believe in you. You can do it. Oh, come on. One more time, one more go at it. There you go. I'm so proud of you. Oh, I've never been prouder in my life. Sometimes bees are just so incredibly stupid, and I love them for it. They're just built stupid. And it's like, okay, they're just little boxes of stupid that like flowers. And I'm like, yeah, well, same. I didn't mean to do that. Excuse me? Excuse me? I don't need this kind of sass from you, Minecraft. You don't do things if I don't intend to. Read my mind. Do it, Mojang. Read my mind and then do it. Don't dare disobey. I do pronounce it Mojang now instead of Mojang, because I just got too used to like all these like when like European people who do like vlogs like, oh, I went to Sweden and saw the like headquarters, they're pronouncing it Mojang, and I'm like, well, I guess they're right. Or whatever. Is it Sweden? I can't remember. Pretty sure. No, I don't think it is. I don't remember. One of those Nordic countries. I'm trying my best. This is now filled in. I don't care. I make the rules now. Like, the person who lives there, Minnie, they don't log on anymore. I don't remember why, they just don't, so. This is now my terraforming, and I get to make the rules. And I'm just going to continue building things in this area, like, around them. One day they're gonna log back on, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Who built this shit? Why is this all in my front yard? And I'm gonna be like, sorry, King. This is just, like, nearest untamed land that I wanted to use. Because I wanted it at least nearby the, spawn area enough to be considered in the spawn area, kind of. Which I'm just slowly expanding it in basically every direction that's not, at Nitriteberg, until it's gonna seem like I'm hostilely, like, trying to expand it. And that's when the real conflict comes in. People are like, are you trying to get in on our turf? And I'm like, no. I can't stop the progress. It's shaped like a fish! Oh, hi, fish pond. It's a fish pond with no fish in it. It's just shaped like a fish. For fish. Yeah, you can see how much dirt I end up using when I terraform, because I refuse to do the, like, hollow terraforming. I'm too much of a purist for that. And also I hate when there's just, like, walls and then the blocks. I'm like, no, we can't have this. This is unacceptable. Even though it literally doesn't matter to anyone ever. Ooh, boy. Well, technically, oh no. Technically, this one has to be like that, or else I'll be able to jump over the side. Pain and suffering, pain and suffering. Where's a zombie villager? Do they have one? Okay. King, pop off. With your zombified villager. Is YouTube, are you trying to be passive-aggressive? Yeah, they're like, you've been watching just videos over and over, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Listen, I have brain rot. You don't need this. I don't need this kind of, judgment, especially not from YouTube. YouTube is not... Why is there... Okay, it's just... Oh, it's painful. This is painful, actually, I've decided. I, like, went from doing the surrounding area to try and do something constructive, and now I'm just, like, I get so off track, like, I need to make sure that this is perfect. And this, why this? Why is it like this? Why are they like this? Pain, pain, pain. Oh yeah, I forgot this thing just makes noise. I don't even know what it's for, it just makes a lot of noise, though. I think this is, yeah, this is black glass, not tinted glass. No, I don't need this, actually, I decided against it. I'm gonna fill this part in. I am out of dirt. Okay. We have hit the I'm just placing dirt kind of hours. But we live with this. This is our fate. I need more dirt. Let's go to the barn instead, because it's literally just right here. I prefer the dirt placing sound to the grass placing sound, because the grass placing sound, like, hurts the ear a bit more. Because I'm one of those people who, like, plays too much Minecraft, so I actually think about these things. Also, someone planted trees, like, right here in front of the barn. It's like, okay, King, you do you. I guess. I'll just let that happen. I don't know who did that or why. They probably just had saplings in their inventory and placed it. Which, like, fine, but I'm the one person who's gonna think too much about it. Covering this. I, like, just don't care. The path is not... It doesn't go anywhere except for the one that goes up there, so I'm fine with replacing this. Because I'm gonna either replace it with the prime path or replace it with more terraforming, so... I hear you, bud. I get it. I understand. Yeah. Sounds like a you problem, man. Maybe you shouldn't have lived in a cave and decided to sit in my way for just a bit too long. It's all about subtle curves, you know? That's part of what, like, because this is basic Minecraft terrain. It's 1.17 or 1.16 Minecraft terrain. But then the terrain game just fully changes for 1.18. And you have to, like, fully adapt to a fully different way of just generating the land itself. So, like, terraforming in that, and, like, to that standard is going to be fully a different game. But I haven't played far enough, at least, to worry about terraforming, and I don't worry about terraforming that much, even on single player anyway. But it's just like the way that things are made is just such an extreme level that even if you're on, like, you can't just be in the base game and, like, have the base things. You have to be in the end game to be able to fully terraform to the level that it's at, because you're gonna need shulkers and elytra because you require so much of everything all the time. And it's just like different, and it's something that people will have to get used to, I guess. Primarily people like Hermitcraft, you know? Though they're already terraforming on a level that's like above what basic Minecraft terrain is. They have done things where it's like adhering to the Minecraft terrain and its rules. So now that they're changing the game and they have to adhere to different rules, they have to either figure out a whole new way of terraforming or they have to adapt their previous techniques. And some people already do have like such extreme techniques. Like B-Dubs' terraforming and Scar's terraforming is something that's like above, just like so above so much of the base Minecraft that usually their areas end up not even looking like it belongs in the same game. Like their mountains and the way that they just like shift the landscape so subtly to the point where like if you showed what the original area looked like, it would be fully unrecognizable aside from perhaps what biome it is in. And that's if they keep things that are like greenery and such that does show what biome you are in. And it's just like, it's so interesting to see what they might do, because if Season 9's coming at some point, you know? So, like, what does that mean for people who do things that affect this terrain? Or else they'll just be, like, well, I guess I'll stick to building because currently I don't have the resources to terrain on the scale that the terrain, like the new generation, demands from me if I want to make it look the way I'm thinking. Because if you want to blend it properly into the land, you're gonna have a lot of work. You're just gonna need a sheer level of resources that some people aren't accustomed to ever using. And it's just different. And I'm very excited to see what they will come up with. Because some of them already have ideas and some of them are like brainstorming with their fan bases for ideas. And either way, it's like, wow, okay. They have big plans, and every single season they go bigger and better, and even Scar kept to just a starter base, and it was more extreme than many people's mega bases ever will become. And that's purely because he is on a level of integrating such a huge, well, integrating even the smallest build, but then also his huge builds into the landscape, to the point of the landscape itself being part of the build. And that's part of like his terraforming style of just like telling a full story because of the way he's been inspired by things like Disney, where Disney and their parks and other things. And it's just like, he's someone who tells a story and it's very obvious. And then there are people who make things that are more like sets to have a story on that the character, whether it be their Sona or just like in general, will experience. And it's just a lot to like consider when even just like where they choose their starter base to be, because if they connect it in some way or keep to a same aesthetic, then it's something they have to deal with. Whether they're just like connecting both a starter base and a mega base, or if they're just trying to adhere to some aesthetic. Because some people certainly had aesthetics, and then some people certainly just stick to whatever is convenient as a starter base, because some people do stick to just like, I'll do a basic house because I can do this quickly and then I can continue progressing in Minecraft to get to the point where I can build on such a scale that I'm planning on. And that's good too, because you can see things like while they may fit like a certain category of rustic or modern or what have you, it doesn't actually like fit in, like you couldn't just plop it in the middle of their mega base and it would look good. And it's something to like even my starter base is literally just a cave and a hole in the ground. And character wise, because I'm fully RPing most of the time on the server, it makes sense to have a cave, because even though at the beginning it wouldn't have made sense because my skin was an anime boy and I didn't actually develop a character yet. But now it makes sense because my character is a warden and they are far more comfortable underground. and far more used to confined spaces and having a defined area like a cave where they can realize this is my stuff and I'm protecting it. And that's what my character needed, as like going in the middle of somewhere and deciding finally to settle down when they haven't done that for centuries. They needed something with that level of comfort, even if it seemed very basic and very primitive. They don't even realize they need that because they don't know their base instincts as a warden. And then later, in the mega base I've planned, it requires a lot of resources. So it makes much more sense to have a very basic kind of starter base and then create something much larger where I can basically just work out of and then store a lot of things, because I plan on using a lot of resources. The problem is I haven't like actually started in on my mega base aside from some base terraforming where I wanted to make it so that when I do get to placing down things like concrete powder, I don't have to worry about a bunch of water flowing in and ruining my plan. But that's fully different than actually getting in on creating something worthwhile and what could be classified as a mega base. Because the classifications for such things kind of change with the standards of what large YouTubers do. Early in the day, like a Minecraft mega base would be far smaller, but that's primarily because the technology and the updates in Minecraft have created a different definition of what endgame is. And we can create things in far less time and collect far more resources in less time because of what kind of farms people can create and what kind of things are in the game. Like even just shulker boxes weren't in the game, so then you can't create something on such a scale until shulker boxes are in the game. And things like back in the day there weren't beacons. And you can't make things without haste at this point in time. If you have a mega base and you're not building with haste on to be able to, if you're building with materials that aren't insta-mine already, then you're going to be in a large time sink for not a lot of actual, like, benefit for anyone. And it's just, like, it's something that people have to consider depending on what they're going to classify their base as. Like, they took the new classification of a giga base, but that's primarily because they're connecting things that are classified as mega bases. And even on that, they're different sizes and to a different scale. It depends on what you classify a mega base as. Like, before, I remember seeing videos where it's people with, like, just a mountain that already existed, and then now is, carved out and used to their own means. But since it's such basic, it's even, like, fairly basic, made out of things like stone brick and not even well constructed, and it would be considered a mega base for its time because it's such basic Minecraft, you know? And the standards just continue to change, because once you get things like Elytra, then your definition of a mega base suddenly can change, because you can create things with height in mind that you couldn't before. Or things take less time if you need to go and collect something that cannot be as easily farmed, like terracotta. Suddenly that's far more accessible. Even if you did have things like boat travel in the nether, like once that finally is standardized as a normal thing to do, then suddenly that's not just far out of the realm of large nether travel that might be required for creating a base. And then you get things like new bartering systems, new trading systems, and suddenly it's far more accessible to get things like specific kinds of quartz, even, is no longer a unrenewable resource. Like when things suddenly become unrenewable or renewable, then it's suddenly changing the game. Like even clay is suddenly becoming renewable next update with the mud, and then you can change it into clay. And that's like just something that some people don't even consider. But I think about what resources are and are not renewable way too much. I thought at one point about, like, making a YouTube series on it, even though it's fairly, like, not benign. Like, it's a benign thing to even worry about in the game itself. But for some people, if they're working with less resources, like on a Skyblock server, or something like a 1 block where you have a specific set of resources and you're given specific things, knowing what is and is not renewable can change the game for you, because you're thinking, oh, well, I don't have to worry about this. As long as I get one piece of this, then I'll be able to infinitely farm it, conceivably. And things like diamonds, in some senses, aren't renewable, but then in some senses are. If you want infinite diamond armor, you can create that. But if you want infinite jukeboxes, you're going to need a bunch of diamonds. And you're not going to get diamonds anyway besides getting it in specific loot tables on chests or mining it. And to an extent, everything in the game of Minecraft is renewable, but to a different extent, it's not, because feasibly, what someone can do with their time and effort in a given day, they're not going to go out thousands and thousands of blocks to get new terrain to be able to find new ones of these resources that they cannot conceivably farm. Like, while it is technically renewable, it is not because of human limitation, you know? You're not going to have an AI playing the game for you, of course. So it's not, as long as you're spending time as a human being, you can't classify it as renewable, because it's going to take too much effort for a human being to conceivably do. And it's like, things that people don't consider as renewable are, in fact, renewable. And it's, like, weird to think, oh, this has got to be a basic thing that no one can technically renew, but they'll have to just go out and grab more of this. And it's like, no, you can find a way to farm it. Like gravel. People, like, now you can get it with piglin bartering, and quartz as well. And even things like potions you can get with piglin bartering, so you won't have to waste things that are more difficult unless you create a farm for them, like getting blaze powder for potion making is an effort, even if you're doing basic farming for it by just sitting by a spawner and waiting, you know? And it's like, considering what amount of effort it is for a human person behind the screen is what needs to be taken into mind when you're considering what is and is not actually a renewable resource in Minecraft. And some things just straight up aren't. Clay isn't, currently in 1.17 and 1.18. And it used to be a bigger deal because it used to be one of the few blocks we had in the game. Back in the day when we had like I think maybe even one wood type in the beginning, and then 2 wood types. It's like, this is one of the few shades of gray I have to work with alongside stone and stone brick and cobblestone, what have you, but this is what I have to work with, and it's a better texture than some of these other things that I like. But it's something that takes effort because I have to go and find it, as opposed to just like, I don't know, you can't get it renewably currently, but later you might be able to with being able to wring water out of mud and then get clay from it. I think that's what it is. Maybe there's a different thing. I can't remember exactly. I remember it being now renewable because of the Minecon live that we all saw, but it's just like, I don't remember the exact details. But I'm sure I'll know because there's Cub Fans videos that he does on the new updates. He always does like what you need to know about this new update, and it's always very comprehensive and very well thought out. It actually does tell you like all the new features, so then later you're gonna end up watching someone and they're gonna be like, well, what do I do? And it's like, oh my god, I know exactly what is new in this, and you're like ruining it, and this is something that you can't do with this or whatever. Like watching people break the few blocks that'll be able to spawn new amethyst shards, and you see them break it and you're like, oh no, or you see yourself break it because you know, and you're like, oh no. That's why I had to create special mending iron pickaxes, because the mining speed would be lower, so I'd be able to catch myself if I do end up accidentally messing up, you know? I started streaming a bit later than I did before. I don't know. I might end up doing this part like off camera, off stream, because it's just like mindless, and it might be just faster if I do it on my own. But really it's gonna be just like a side area, and then I'm gonna throw the rest of the horses in their pens, and then that's it. And then I might build some special little trees out of dead coral with the little bushes or whatever. And it's not gonna be a big deal, but it's gonna look nice, and then I might make the, I'm gonna extend the prime path towards here. And that's probably gonna be all of it, really. But yeah, that might be it for today. Ugh. Glad to see that you won't get out, and I can bring the rest of them in here. But that's about it. I think that's it for the stream today, even though it's been only an hour. Still, I actually talked for a lot, or whatever. Hello, big tree, big mushroom. And hello, Enderman that's now forever trapped below ground. We did trap him. We trapped a man eternally. That's something to celebrate. But yeah, that's about it for today. At least I streamed, you know?